Have you ever wondered if a ghost might appear in your next selfie? Well, this video is evidence that they're all around us at all times. The girl in the video is using a Snapchat filter, which appears to be capturing a nearby ghost. At least the filter is putting dog ears on a face that doesn't exist. The girl asks the ghost to stick its tongue out for her when she realizes there may be two spirits there as two dog filters appear in the empty space.
You want to stick your tongue out for me? Because this is pretty... Whoa. Whoa, there's two of them.
Throughout the video, one of the dog filters disappears only to reappear in a different place. The girl tells the spirits they are welcome there and just to clean up after themselves. Then the bigger ghost moves closer. She asks if it's going to stick its tongue out at her, only to have the dog disappear again. And then...
Are you just going to, no? Okay. Are you gone? Are you gonna come back?
That was a jump scare if I've ever saw one. Are these friendly ghosts or villainous pranksters? Your guess is as good as mine. All I can say for sure is that something suspicious is happening here.
Blake Smith's Gaming Blitz has a haunted basement which I analyzed a while ago. Now the ghost has moved upstairs and other family members are starting to take notice. Some people claim to see a face peering between the blinds, but I think it's a reflection.
Can you see that? Please say you see that.
See what? It move?
But forget about the window. Tell me what's going on with her backpack. It looks normal at 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Then she looks up, coughs, and suddenly it looks like a face. A face that only becomes clearer and rounder, more defined over the next 15 seconds.
Look at your bag. Do you see the face on your bag in the mirror? Do you see it?
I had that on video, Nene! I caught it on video!
A final rustling noise somewhere in the room freaks them both out and makes me wonder if they really are being watched by a little ghost girl who's all too near.
While the front of a restaurant is running like clockwork, behind the scenes, things are heating up. That's what happened to Zach Burrell, who was working at McDonald's in 2011 when a grease fire occurred. He published his video of heroism in October of 2011, noting that it was him putting the grease fire out, and that he was poorly trained to do so. In the beginning of the video, you can see the flames spring up in the cooker, then there's a mass panic in the kitchen, and workers start racing around, trying to figure out what to do. Every effort they make seems to throw heat on the flames, lighting it up more. Zach explains what happened. First, I pulled the wrong mounted extinguisher and the grill was covered in liquid. Then one of my crew members tried putting an oily lid on top of the vat to cut the oxygen off. It fell in sideways and the flames doubled. In the end, Zach grabbed a fire extinguisher to douse the flames, but not before the entire kitchen filled with smoke, leaving a dramatic scene that could have led to lives being lost. Pretty crazy, he writes, but at least I saved the store. Luan Mendez is a paranormal investigator and urban explorer from Brazil who likes to go exploring haunted and abandoned places. Of his many scary videos, this ghost hunting video is by far the scariest. He is hunting for a ghost that often takes the form of a scary old woman. It isn't long before the alleged ghost sightings caught on camera. The ghost scares them in the window and then especially in the doorway. I would question if this ghost video is real or not, except for one weird thing here. They are shining a light directly at the woman, and yet nowhere does her mysterious figure cast a shadow. That's probably the scariest thing of all. It makes it seem like the video's paranormal to me. In this vlog, it's Justin Stewart, and guys, it's me, Andy, visit a mansion to go to a party. No one is there, so they sneak in. The mansion is huge with a bridge and a waterfall, 4 garages, a gym, a climbing rock wall, a sauna, and a library. It's insane. And finally, after exploring the house, they find a secret room. A door is camouflaged into one wall, but they spot that the bottom is raised a bit, and there's a clear mark that someone has pressed into the corner at some point. One of the crew presses on the door, and it opens into darkness. They hit the light switch and find a whole other room out of sight. The room beyond is slightly underwhelming compared to the rest of the house. The room is bare, no furniture, nothing on the walls. What the homeowners used it for is completely unknown. While it's a tad eerie to find a room completely hidden in this incredible mansion, you kind of wish there was more to it, although maybe there is, and we just don't know it yet. Published by LANH-TV New in March of 2022, and originally published by Knob Team Explore, this scary video reveals that the real haunting happens just out of sight. As the cameraman walks us through an abandoned structure, he rounds a corner where 2 bright lights are spotted blinking in the dark distance of the surrounding forest. What are they? He whistles and walks toward them. But before we can get to the bottom of that mystery, something starts rattling off to the left. The cameraman turns in the sound's direction, and he starts to approach the rattling. Rounding another corner, he finds that this door is the culprit. He calls out and then runs away.
Assalamualaikum.
Turning around, he captures this hanging from the rafters. It appears to be a small pair of legs. The rest of the figure's body remains out of sight. When he turns around and casts the camera back, the figure is no longer there. What is this horror? Something that's gonna stay with me for a long time, that's for sure. A group of friends are exploring an abandoned house, but they get no further than the front door before they get freaked out by a possible ghost sighting. According to the description, if you look closely at the right side of the window, you'll see a shadow figure looking at them. Take a look at what they've caught on tape and tell me if you see a shadow figure on the right.
No, that's a shadow. That's shadow.
Exactly.
At first, I thought they were maybe talking about this shadowy figure down here, which is on the right like they say, but I'm pretty sure that's the shadow of the person holding the camera, and what could be a glowing eye is actually light from their camera too. Also, the person in a red shirt who sees the shadow figure is pointing in an entirely different direction. Like I said, I don't see anything paranormal in this video, but every single person in the comments says there is a shadow figure caught on camera if you look close enough. Just because I don't see it doesn't mean one isn't there. Somebody help me out because I want to know what they are looking at. When you do see it, apparently it's really scary. This hunter captured the prey of his life while on an expedition. Published by Bigfoot's Testimony in January of 2022, the mysterious encounter occurred in a wooded area in Ohio. The footage shows a strange, grassy-looking creature creeping between the trees on a snowy fall day. The man says the creature's hair is gray or black.
His hair's gray and black. Is that gray? Is that snow?
Zooming in, the figure is barely discernible from its surroundings, like he's camouflaged. Most in the comments confirm that they've seen similar creatures in the forest. Tanner Urza writes, "These beings are very spiritual and in tune with nature." Others note that at some points it looks like a barely visible, partially invisible shadow. Is this the Grassman of Ohio? Or do we have another legendary creature on our hands? Either way, I think I'll be staying clear of that forest. We've all heard about miracles, but sometimes you just gotta see to believe. So let's see. A-Dimensional Paranormal published this video in August of 2016, writing in Spanish. Recorded by a person in the chapel of the Saltillo Cathedral in Mexico. The clip opens on the inside of a dark chapel with only a few candles lit and some low lights surrounding the statue above an altar. Low church chanting can be heard in the background. At first glance, a close-up of the statue appears to reveal nothing out of the ordinary, but upon closer inspection, the closed eyes of a statue glare open eerily. Watch it again. Did it give you chills? Is this a miracle or something else? You decide. Personally, I think it'd be hard to fake with the camera moving so much, which makes me think it's real. A CCTV video captures an ill-mannered apparition as it ravages a store just 20 minutes shy of 3 a.m. It slinks across the far wall first, knocking 2 items off the opposite shelf as it moves down the aisle. To be honest though, the way this object on the top shelf gets caught at 13 seconds looks like it could be pulled by a string. Next, the shadow somehow passes across the aisle without appearing in the glass or the bright reflection on the floor. A minute later, the door to the cooler shakes hard enough to rattle the glass in its pane. Camera 7 shows the outside of the cooler, and camera 8 shows the inside. Nobody is anywhere nearby, or in the entire store for the matter, and yet the door shakes uncontrollably. I think this could be a real poltergeist because of one simple fact. This door is airtight to keep the drinks cold. It has no knob to grab onto, and must be opened with a button on the wall. Therefore, I don't think somebody could have made it shake like this, even if they stood on the other side and tried. Encounters with strangers in abandoned places in the paranormal are scary enough. So what happens when you encounter some type of humanoid creature in the middle of a forest? Strange Videos published this footage in December 2016. The footage is taken in the woods. You can hear birds singing and chirping. It seems like a calming, pleasant, peaceful nature walk. Then you spot it. Down the center of the shot creeps past a dark creature. It's hard to tell what the figure is at this distance, but its shoulders are hunched and the way it moves makes it seem not of this world. A closer shot of the creature calls its species even further into question. Most in the comments of the video seem to agree that it's not a Bigfoot. The gait and the creature's arm length seem to invalidate the Bigfoot theory. So what else could this creature possibly be? Without any additional footage, there will be no way to tell for sure. Alarming CCTV footage from a home security system in India appears to depict rare paranormal activity haunting this man's home. Caught on camera is a malevolent paranormal entity that comes from under the stairs. The man doesn't know how to fight back as he is lifted into the air and taken against his will and presumably screaming for help. There should be more security videos to go along with it, but only one has been uploaded so far. If this is camera 2, then I want to see the paranormal evidence from camera 1. Otherwise, this could be fake. With that out of the way, what I find especially frightening is how, at 45 seconds, the dark matter appears to concentrate around his face and his waist, just like arms grabbing him from behind. Small details like that make me wonder if something scary really is haunting his home. I wish there were more videos to show us what happens next, but what do you think? Is this a real paranormal video? Have you ever gone on a real-life witch hunt? Way of Vlogs has, and he published his scary encounter in June of 2016 writing, "Finally found where the witch has been living." The YouTuber must have posted other videos of the witch prior to searching for her abode. In this footage, he claims that these stick crosses that he's come across in the woods indicate where the witch he encountered is living. He says there's logs in this wooded area and ceremonial things, although none of that is shown. Then he points out the strangest thing, a teepee made of sticks. As he's filming the teepee, something sets him on edge. He pans around and off to the left stands a woman with jet black hair dressed in white. She's unmoving, but her presence there is unnerving enough to make the YouTuber hightail it out of there. What would you do if you came across this lady in the forest at night? Midlothian, Scotland is no stranger to witches. Salem was bizarre enough, but the Great Scottish Witch Hunt was on a whole other level. This drone video sure seems to suggest that witches continue to walk among us. Or at least they walk in quiet fields within our vicinity. That's what this alleged witch was doing when captured on video by a drone. The woman, dressed in a red skirt, black top, and with long, lanky, black, maybe gray hair, is first seen standing quite still in the field. The video then shows her turning around, swaying slightly, her face quite pale. She seems to be dancing or performing some ritual as she raises her hands in the air and then places a foot forward. Is this a real-life witch? If not, what in the world is she doing? A while ago, I analyzed the case of Terry Bevers, a 45-year-old woman who was found passed away outside of a Texas church on April 18, 2016. This creepy CCTV video shows the man responsible for her demise. He is carrying around a hammer and apparently knows Terry teaches a fitness instruction class here. He is caught on camera walking around looking for her, but is never caught in real life. In other words, never identified. The reason why I'm revisiting this case is because it has still not been solved and more weird things have emerged. This white vehicle was caught on CCTV security video driving around the church parking lot on the same morning that Terry Bevers was found. There is no real reason for them to turn off the road here at 1:58 in the morning. They slowly creep around the lot at a consistently slow pace like they are watching out for something. A minute passes and then they flash the headlights one time and then put the high beams on. They do this as they pass by the entrance, almost like a signal to someone who could have been waiting inside. They slowly do a full circle and then park facing the entrance. They turn the headlights off and wait. Nobody gets out of the car and nobody exits or enters the building. 3 minutes later, they turn the car on and leave. The fact that this happened hours before Terry was found outside of this building strikes me as too much of a coincidence. Nobody has been able to identify the plates of this mystery car for further questioning. Each time they just barely avoid showing the numbers, almost like they've been planning this for a while and know exactly where to drive, exactly how far away from the cameras to stay. Thank you so much for getting me to 30,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers next. Thank you.